Going to the 13th and final round of the Tata Steel Tournament. 4 players could still win. Wesley So's out in front by half a point ahead of Wei Yi, Levon Aronian and Magnus Carlsen. Here's my rapid review of the day's events. First of all, the game between Carlsen and Karyakin. Here in this absolutely standard gioco piano position, Black should just await events. A6, Bishop E6, both decent moves. Instead, Karyakin played G5, which was an invitation for Carlsen to sacrifice a piece. And this is incredibly dangerous for Black because very hard to get out of this pin. So that was right at the start of the round. So pressure on the other players. Let's switch to the game between Nepomniachtchi and Wesley So. Well, while all that was going on in Carlsen's game, Nepomniachtchi clearly wanted to play a part in the drama of the last round. And here, well, there are quiet continuations, but he sacrificed his A-pawn, allowing Black's queen right next to the king, and tried to drum up some kind of attack with C6, but Wesley So fought off this attack. This is my game of the day. Do check out what happened. Of course, Wesley So won this game, as you've no doubt heard by now. So won the tournament. And I think that kind of took the air out of the chasing pack. Carlsen failed to win that game. Karyakin defended very well. Aronian, well, right from the start, he never looked particularly comfortable. And round about here, Andreikin with White is really taking over the initiative. White has beautiful pawn centre, gives him space, and there you go, the knight coming into a glorious position, looking at this weak pawn on G5, and now Andreikin took the initiative, which he really never let go of, although Aronian fought very hard, still very complex. Andreikin was always better, and he won a very nice game. Disappointment from Aronian. Wei Yi against Wojtaszek, the other chaser. Well, here, both players fighting very hard. Wei Yi has just played his queen here, attacking the pawn. King had to defend. The queen comes here, threatening a sacrifice. So they're now repeating the position. But Wei Yi wanted to play for a win, even though by this stage he'd seen that Wesley had won the tournament. But he wanted to play for a win. But this simply gave Black a very powerful pass pawn. And Wojtaszek managed to win this game. So disappointing for the Chinese player. Moving on, Richard Rapport against Adiban Baskaran. Well, this was another Trompovsky. Nepomniachtchi had played the tromp against Wesley So. This is an interesting variation that Rapport played. Of course, normally you play with D5, and this has been seen before. I don't think it's so dangerous for Black. But here, I think the only way for White to play is to play F4 and challenge in the centre. And this has been seen before. Okay, it's very complex. Instead, Rapport played Knight F3. And there's no pressure on Black's pawn centre at all. And it's very hard for White to play with his pieces here. And, well, Rapport was struggling for the entire game, and Adiban beat him very convincingly. Moving on, Anish Giri against Pavel Ulyanov. Well, this always looked like a draw. They went into a rook and pawn ending very early on, and although Giri was better, well, Ulyanov defended very well. Here's how the game finished. Nice technique from Ulyanov. Of course, Black has to be a bit careful because his king is cut off. But here's nice technique from Ulyanov. He played rook here, waited for the pawn to advance, and now the rook exchange is safe, and with the pawn advanced, this is just a draw. Very good technique, worth looking at if you want to learn something about rook and pawn endgames. And finally, Luke Funveli won a game. He defeated Pentala Hari Krishna. Hari Krishna played a very risky opening. This is not the best variation of the Catalan. After this, it's really hard for black to attack white's centre. White is simply better here, and Luke won a very convincing game. So well done to him. Nice for him to finish with a victory. So that meant that Wesley So won the tournament with 9 out of 13. Carlsen in clear second with 8. Aronian, Weyi and Adiban on 7.5. Wesley So on incredible form. He won the London Chess Classic in December. He had a superb Olympiad in Baku. He won the Sinkfield Cup in St. Louis. He's on fire at the moment. And this victory leaves him in second position on this live rating list behind Magnus Carlsen. Magnus must watch out.